Hey everyone, it's Ginny from Homestead Corner. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the 13 things that FEMA recommends to have in your emergency supply. I have a little list here because I can't remember stuff. And off the top of my head, I'm fine, but you know, if there's a list of something, I'm going to need to reference it because I'll get halfway through it and forget stuff. And so FEMA is the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and they have a list of recommended emergency supplies. And they have like their first part of their list is what they recommend, and then they have a little bit of extra stuff on there that, if you have additional needs, you could add some extra things. But I think this is a great place to start if you have nothing. If you're just starting to prepare for emergencies, then this is a great place to start. It's I definitely would go a lot more than 3 days, because 3 days and then what? Then you turn to the government for help. You know, it's they're gonna swoop in and fix everything. That doesn't always happen. And, it's good to be self reliant and be able to rely on you and know that you're going to last longer than 3 days. So let's get into their list. It is one, the first thing they recommend is water, 1 gallon per person per day for 3 days. And that's a great place to start. And then I think you should definitely expand well beyond that. And for 3 days, 1 gallon per person is for eating, drinking, cleaning your dishes, things like that. You're going to need a little bit more if you plan on cleaning yourself and, cleaning every other thing. So a little more than a gallon a day. You're definitely going to want to do that. And number two, food. 3 days of non-perishable food. If all you've got is 3 days of non-perishable food, then you need to get on it. It is 3 days is not very long, and it does take quite a bit of food, especially if you have 6, 7, 10 people in your house. You would be surprised how much you eat in a 3-day period. Definitely a good place to start, but build on that, I would say. And number three, a battery powered or hand crank radio with the NOAA weather system, which is great. I agree with that 150%. I think everyone should have them. You can get them pretty cheap for around $20 and they last. I have like a $20 one, $25, something like that. And I've had it for years and we love it. And it's actually one thing that we use all the time, because we have a solar powered one and it's hand cranked, and we actually run it for a radio for the dogs when we leave the house, so they have something. There's noise, and because they're anxious little turds. But that is one thing. It was definitely worth the investment for that, and you can definitely get something much better and spend tons of money on them if you want to. I will put the one that I have in the link down below in the description if you're interested in looking for one, if you don't already have one. Number four, they recommend you have a flashlight. I recommend you have lots of flashlights. Don't count on just one. Never put all your eggs in one basket. That's not a good thing to do. Have more than one. Have them all over the place. Be prepared. Number five, a first aid kit. Definitely. Absolutely. And build it out. Make it bigger than what you buy one, and make it bigger. Add to it. There's much more you can add than what comes in them. Number six, extra batteries. Extra batteries are great. Definitely. Lots of them. Number seven, an emergency whistle. I think this is another great one, and everybody should have one. If you are stranded for some reason, out of breath, can't yell, it doesn't take as much breath to blow that emergency whistle and I think they're great to have. A dusk mask. A bandana is going to be just as good. So if you have a bandana, that's going to do just as much as a dust mask, really. I mean, unless you have a respirator, something like that. It's just a small light filter, a dust mask. So, number 9, plastic sheeting and duct tape for sheltering in place, it says. Or, a tarp. I would definitely recommend a tarp more than plastic sheeting. It's going to be a lot more durable. And if you have to close off a room or close up a window, tarp is going to work a little bit better. Number 10, moist towelettes, garbage bags, and plastic ties for personal sanitation. It does not really go into detail there. That is all it says. So I'm guessing this is for your toiletry purposes. And, there are lots of ways to go about that. Number 11, a manual can opener. Definitely. 2 of them. Get 2, 3, 4, whole bunch. They wear out too. Number 12, local maps. Local maps are great if the grid is down for an extended period of time and you need to get somewhere. A local map is definitely going to help you. There might be a street that you're not aware of that would save a ton of time, especially if you have to walk somewhere. Topographical maps are great. So if you're trying to get from point A to point B, you can see the elevation difference and are you going to be able to handle it? Sometimes I have gone off on hikes and sometimes it's a lot steeper than you think it's going to be when you're climbing up a mountain or down around a windy road or whatever. Sometimes it's a lot steeper, and I think maps are a great way to go. If the grid is down for a long term, if you have no cell phone, Google Maps is gone. So paper maps are wonderful. Number 13, a cell phone, a charging cable, and extra battery. Most people don't have an extra battery for their phone, I don't think, and they're not cheap. And some phones, you can't replace the battery in them. So, do what you can do, and that's all you can do. But a lot of the little flashlight, radio, hand cranked thing, mine has a USB charger in it, so I can plug my phone right into that. It has like a micro USB and a regular USB, so that will help charge my phone as well. As long as the phone is going to work. When the satellites are out, the towers are down, the grid is down, I mean, it ain't working anyway. So, it'll work for a little while, but it ain't going to work forever if the grid goes down long term. And I think it's important to count on other items and not just electronics. I love electronics too. I really do. I have cell phone, computers, all that stuff. We like it. But we need to be able to go beyond that and know that when all that stuff is down, we are still going to be fine. Hard books, maps, handwritten recipes, write them out, print them out, put them in a binder. Pinterest is great for cooking, but when the grid's down, it isn't there. So I think hard copies are super important. So this is the list of 13 things, and also on their website they have a few other recommendations like added stuff. If you have a baby, make sure you have 3 days worth of food, bottles, things like that. A lot of the added stuff is just common sense, extra blankets if you can. Sleeping bags are wonderful. You can really get warm and toasty in them. And there'll be a link to the FEMA list that I have here right in the description down below. And that's it for today. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.